is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you guys are new here. Right now, y'all, it is like what, 12:30 in the morning, and your girl is wide awake drinking coffee. I literally was just sitting here watching TV, and I'm like, girl, you wide awake, you might as well make this time useful and give them like a little story time on your birth. If you guys have not watched, I actually have my labor and delivery vlog posted. I'm actually gonna leave a link down below if you guys want to see how it was kinda in real time. I wasn't able to record as much as I wanted to in that vlog, which is why I'm doing the story time, just to, you know, fill in those pieces. So let's get straight into it, you guys. So the day before my baby girl was born, y'all, I woke up that morning, y'all, and I was crampy. Like I felt like I was about to get my period. I had these like mild cramping, but it wasn't too bad. I just was like, oh, I feel like I'm about to get my period, but I still didn't think anything of it. I remember just feeling extremely lethargic that day. Like I was so freaking tired that whole day, and I was literally laying in bed for most of the day. I may have gotten up a few times just like to eat something, and then later on that night, I decided I want to do the baby mama dance. Like we haven't done it yet. Let's do it. So I was in the room, y'all. I was dancing, boom, boom, boom. I want to say like maybe 2 hours after that, I went to go pee, and when I went to go pee, I wiped myself, and that's when I saw blood. And I was like, I didn't think nothing of it. I was just like, that's odd. But, you know, I am going to be having a baby soon. Like, I knew birth was coming soon, but I obviously didn't know it was going to happen like that next day. So throughout the night, I was going to the bathroom. Same thing. It was just like a very faint, like pink color I would see. I started noticing like my cramping was getting a little bit worse. Like as I would get up to go to the bathroom, I was like, dang, like this cramping is getting a little worse. Like, what the heck? But y'all, my water still hadn't broke yet. So I was like, well, my water didn't break yet. I'm still good. Like, ain't nothing to be worried about. I kept dealing with these cramps throughout the night, you guys. And then that morning, I don't know. At that point, I felt like I had reached the point where I was like, oh my goodness, like this is not normal now. Like something ain't right. Something ain't right. That's when y'all saw my labor and delivery vlog. That's when I decided to start the video off, because I was like, I think I may be going into labor soon. I was just having, like, at that time I felt like some really bad cramping, y'all. But again, I still did not want to go to the doctor, because I was like, my water hadn't broke yet. I feel like they're just gonna send me back home. I do not want to go to the doctor and they send me back home. I feel like it's gonna be a waste of time. Like when I go to the doctor, I just really want to go one time, have my baby, and then be done. I tried to go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. I remember I got in the bath, then I laid down again. I tried to do like the medicine ball. I tried to do a little few things, you guys, that I thought would help with the cramping. And it's crazy because I think this may have just like made it worse and made my labor come sooner. I was standing here with my mom, and I was like, should I go? No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I was like, the pain is like, it's bad, but I was like, it's nowhere near as bad as I know that it would get. Like, I feel like when it's time for me to go to the hospital, I would, oh shit, spill my coffee. I was like, when it's time for me to go to the hospital, I feel like I won't know that moment. But again, I never experienced birth before. This is my first baby. So at that moment, I thought like I was like further along than I actually was, y'all. Mind you, I kept having these cramps, but my water still hadn't broke, y'all. And that, y'all, I was waiting for the longest for my water to break, because in my mind, I'm like, your water has to break before you go to the doctor. Like my water's gonna break, and then that's the indicator that I need to go to the hospital. So I was just like waiting it out, like, okay, my water still ain't break, I ain't gonna go. And then I was just walking around the house, and I was like going back and forth with my mom, like, should I go to the doctor? But like my water didn't break yet. Should I go to the doctor? And she was like, Sierra, your water probably not gonna break. She's like, sometimes your water just don't break. And I don't know why. I never thought that. I don't know. Like, I just always thought that your water has to break. And I was like, dang, for real? So I started looking up stuff, of course, and they was like, yeah, sometimes like your water, it's not gonna break, but sometimes like the doctor has to do it or whatever. So I was like, you know, okay, let's just go to the hospital and just check. Because at that point, I'm like, I have to be like an early labor. Like, I just want to know how many centimeters dilated I was. That's when my mama, we hopped in the car, we went to the triage, the nurse did a little cervix check, and y'all was 3 centimeters dilated. And they sent me back home. Bruh. I was like, go back home. At that time, yeah, I thought I was like probably like 5, 6 centimeters. Girl, no, I was only 3 centimeters dilated. So I was like, dang, I felt kind of crazy. I'm like, girl, you only 3 centimeters dilated, and you acting like you can't deal with this pain. Girl, you got such a long time to go. So we get back home. I'm still having the cramps, y'all. I'm still like spotting a little bit. I was like trying to lay down, y'all, and I was still getting them cramps. So I'm like, oh goodness, okay. I was like, you know what? Let me take a bath. Because earlier when I had taken a bath, I felt like it helped a little bit. So I was like, let me go take a bath. So I took a bath. I remember just getting up out that bath, y'all, and I just started feeling like the worst cramps ever. Like as I was sitting down, it wasn't that bad. And I remember like the moment I got up to like get out the bath, it was like something just hit me so hard. I was like, ah. And that's when I realized the difference between that 3 centimeters and whatever centimeters I was at this point. I was like, ain't no way in the hell this is the same cramps I just had. Y'all, it wasn't even a whole hour later. I couldn't believe that they had came like that so freaking fast. Finally got out of the bath, y'all, and I just felt like I could barely freaking walk without like cramping. I was like, oh my God, this is really, really bad. So at that point, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm still 3 centimeters dilated. There's no way. I think I had texted my husband, like, I think I may be going into labor. They told me I was 3 centimeters dilated, but I think it's progressing pretty fast, like hurrying, trying to get home or whatever. After I got off the bath, I tried to lay back down, you guys, and I could not lay down. It was like, the more I tried to be still, the more pain I felt like I was having. And I was like, no, Sierra, I had this medicine ball. Let me try to get a medicine ball. Y'all, I sat on that medicine ball and I rolled right off that medicine ball. Like I really, I was like on all fours just screaming. And I kind of wish I would have recorded that because I know that probably looked hilarious on camera, but I was in so much pain at that point. So I kicked the damn medicine ball. I'm like, damn it. I heard a lot of people say just sometimes just walking it out helps. So I just started pacing back and forth, and I was just like, Mind you, this time my mom, she's in the living room. She looked like down the hallway, and she just was seeing me walking back and forth, just making all the daggone noise. And I think at that time, my mama got 4 kids. I feel like at that time, that's when she realized, she was like, oh yeah, that baby is coming soon. So she kind of was just letting me, pace back and forth and do my thing. And she'll pop in and she'll be like, do you want to go to the hospital? And I'm still like, but my water hasn't broken yet. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. So it was like, you know what? No, not yet. Because I'm like, they already sent me home one time. I don't want them to send me home the second time. So I was like, no, not yet. So I'm steady just pacing back and forth, pacing back and forth. My mom did a really, really good job at this point because she knows, I feel like most people know this as well. Just like when you are in so much pain, you don't want people talking to you like that. Like, don't be asking me a whole bunch of questions. Like, I'm really just trying to get through the contractions. She knew that I probably couldn't even really answer her questions. So I was pacing back and forth. And then I finally decided, I was like, Sierra, you need to time your contractions, right? So that's when I got my phone and I actually started timing my contractions, and they was coming like every 3 minutes. I'm telling myself, like, Sierra, just go as long as you feel like you can. So that way, like, when you go to the hospital this next time, and that be it. I really did not want them to send me back home again, you guys, for a second time. So I was like, I want to get to the point where it's super unbearable to where it's like I can barely walk. I hit that point really, 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 really quick. Walked back and forth maybe like 2 or 3 more times, and baby, I was like, I told my mom, I said, oh, we going to the hospital. We got to go to the hospital. And then literally like a couple of minutes after I told my mom that, my husband, he had walked in. And when he walked in, like he caught a grunt of it too, with me just walking back and forth. He came up to me. He was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you want me to walk with you? I'm like, no, just please just get out the way. So he got out of the way. He over there packing his bag or whatever. We hop in the car. Car ride was terrible, y'all. I could barely sit down comfortably. I'm all turning, making like the most noises. Like I was in so much pain. Got to the hospital, you guys. I was able to walk all the way upstairs. I didn't want to get in a wheelchair because I just felt like the walking was helping me way more than me getting rolled up into the wheelchair. I was like, let me just walk it out and I'll just deal with the pain. So we got up there to labor and delivery again. This was literally like 2 hours later, and I'm back again. Actually, it may have been a little bit less than 2 hours later, but nonetheless, it was around like 2 hours later. I'm back. So they did the cervix check again, y'all, and I am 5 centimeters dilated. The nurse gonna look at me and tell me, yeah, you're 5 centimeters dilated. She was like, so do you want us to admit you? Bruh. And I looked at her, I'm like, do I want you to admit me? Yes. Yes. What do you mean? What are we waiting for? I'm not about to go back home again to come back here, at 7 centimeters out there? I was like, no, let's go. I'm just like, why are you asking me? Shouldn't like you be telling me that I need to be admitted? Like, I was so confused by that part. I'm just like, ma'am, yes, and I want the epidural. Like, before they even asked me, I want the epidural. So she was like, okay, good. We're gonna let the anesthesiologist know, and blah, 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 blah. Like, I literally made it my mission to tell them as soon as possible that I wanted the epidural, because I did not want to keep dealing with a whole bunch of pain or whatever. So they moved me. They asked me, they gonna ask y'all a whole bunch of questions while you in pain, child. And I don't even remember half of what they said to me. I was just like, yes, okay, yes. They brought me to like the labor and delivery room. You got me, my mom, and everybody getting all set up. First thing I wanted is the epidural. I don't even want to talk too much. I'm just like, epidural, epidural, epidural. But I will say, y'all, the anesthesiologist, she came really, really quick, and I'm so thankful for that. Before she came, like the nurse, she had to get like take out like some vitals and stuff for me. At that point, y'all, I was just saying yes, like okay, yes, yes. If I gotta get it, just give it to me. Yes, 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 yes. But of course, they have to ask you all these questions. So she's asking me all the things, confirming all the stuff. I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. Then the anesthesiologist comes in and she gives me epidural, y'all. My epidural went so smooth. Like the pain wasn't even, like I'll say the pain from 1 to 10, y'all, is probably like 2, but of course that depends on your pain tolerance level. For me, I feel like I can deal with pain pretty well, especially that I'm good with like needles and stuff like that. That didn't really bother me too much. And she did it the first try, y'all, and everything went good. But I will say, like, before she put like the needle in, like, you know, they tell you like to sit on the end of the bed, sit a certain way, do not move. And literally as soon as she was about to put that shit in, y'all, I got a really, really bad contraction. And I was like, no, wait, please don't do it yet. Wait. I was like, I'm getting a contraction, please. So the nurse told her, she's like, please just let her, like, you know, let her get the contraction out the way. And then it was like, okay, you cannot do that no more. She was like, we can't stop no more. Like we have to like, you know, do it. So I was like, okay, I'm good. And she did it, and literally after that, the rest of my labor and delivery was really, really smooth after that, you guys, because I couldn't feel shit. Yeah, it was a success, and I was just so freaking happy that my epidural went well. And they also give you like a button if like you want to up the ante on the epidural, which I did a few times, you guys, and I actually regretted it a little bit later on. After the epidural, y'all, I was really just chilling after that. We just chilling. I was talking to y'all in my little vlog. I ate some ice pops. I ate some Jello. Drinking my water. I was just chilling. I was like super anticipating on having like this best nap after the epidural, because everybody talk about after they get the epidural, they take like the best nap of their lives. Y'all, I kept saying I was gonna take a nap. Even in my vlog, if you guys watched it, I kept saying, oh, I'm gonna take a best nap. I'm gonna take an amazing nap. Y'all, I ain't never go to sleep. Mind y'all, it's been like an hour later at this point. My water still has not broken, y'all. My husband and my mom, they didn't aid, they didn't did all the things. We just yapping it up, just talking about how we think the baby gonna look, how much she's gonna weigh, blah, 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 just yapping it up. The nurse that came in actually a few times just to check and see if my water had broken, because at this point, y'all, I was so numb down there that I couldn't even feel like my legs. So then after like 30 minutes later, the nurse came in again. She was like, oh, let me check and see if your water broke again. Y'all, I remember she just lifted up my blanket and she was like, whoa, oh, let me go get the doctor. So by her reaction, I'm like, oh my goodness, what, did my water break? Did my water break? She's like, no, it didn't break. But I guess like she was like, the sack is like hanging out. So she went over to the doctor. The doctor came back. The doctor lifted it up and she had the same reaction. She was like, whoa, oh, wow, okay. And then my husband, y'all, meanwhile, my husband thought he was the goddamn doctor's assistant, the nurse's assistant. He was so heavily involved. I mean, I'm thankful for that, but he was so intrigued with the whole labor and delivery, all in my body. Literally every single thing they were doing, he was like in there like the damn doctor. I was like, goodness gracious, like you really just seen me through and through. You just seen every part of my body, like it's crazy. But he was just so intrigued, and I just found it so funny. I'm just like, oh my goodness, like you're really all in there, like back up, like this is too much, this is too invasive. But it was whatever, I didn't even care. But yeah, anyway, so the doctor come in, she looks up, she's like, oh wow, oh okay. And my husband went around, he looked, and my mom looked, and that's when the sack was pretty much hanging out. So she was like, I'm about to go in here to check, I guess, how far dilated I was. She's like, but when I go in here, the sack is gonna break, like your water is gonna break. She was like, we're about to start preparing for a birth. And I was like, oh my goodness, like already, what the heck? Like, mind you, super freaking chill still, because I got an epidural. I'm just cooling, like I don't even feel nothing. Okay, bet. Oh wait, I didn't even tell you guys. Oh my god, I skipped a whole major part, you guys. So they ended up giving me Pitocin, you guys, because my contractions were like 3 to 5 centimeters, and then after I got the epidural, they noticed that my contractions were starting to like be further apart, like every 5 to 7 minutes. So they gave me the Pitocin. Pitocin just helped intensify my contractions and make them more consistent, because they wanted them to be every like 3 minutes. So they ended up giving me Pitocin, but luckily I didn't feel any of the contractions because I had epidural. At first, I really did not want to get Pitocin because I kept hearing that Pitocin gives you these really, really bad cramps. But again, like I had already had the epidural, so them giving me the Pitocin after that really didn't affect me too much. So yes, so when she went in, she did her little check, my water pot broke or whatever, and it was time to push, y'all. She showed me how she wanted me to push, blah, blah, blah. Mind y'all, I can't feel nothing down below. Like the epidural was so good, and I think I pressed that button 1, 2, 3, 4 too many times that I didn't feel nothing down below. I struggled a little bit at this point because I could not feel anything down here, and this is when I pretty much regretted using so much of that epidural, because I couldn't feel down there to push effectively. They asked me if I wanted to use the mirror thing to see the baby's head, and I don't know, at the time I was just like no, because I feel like that was gonna weird me out, and I was like probably going, I don't know, I just thought it was gonna be weird and awkward for me, and I was like gonna freak out. But I really wish I would have used it, because I feel like that would help me as well as far as pushing. So I pushed like maybe 3 times. They was like, are you feeling the contractions? I was like, I feel the contractions very, 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 very mildly. And I was like, that's why I feel like I'm not pushing enough, because I don't really feel the contractions for real. So when I would feel like a little spark, I'd be like, okay, is one coming? And then like, it was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, push it. And I would push a few more times, and y'all, nothing was happening. The doctor looked and he noticed, I guess, like my baby's heart rate was going down, and he was like, okay, we about to try a few other things because baby's heart rate going down. Baby is like getting tired, like we need to get the baby out of. He's like, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a suction to help you. So when like I push, he was gonna put the suction on her head and pull her out. He was like, so if she come out, she might have a little bit of a cone head, but it's gonna subside, like it's gonna go away. I'm like, cone head. And I was just like, okay, whatever, it's for the health of my baby. She gotta get out. Let's just do this thing. In like 2.5 seconds, I went from having like, I feel like there was like 4 or 5 people in this to having like 10 people in that room. And I was like, oh my goodness. I remember the doctor telling me, he's like, Sierra, right now there's a lot of people in here because the baby heart rate is dropping. So it's like, you know, we're trying to hurry up and get her. We just need all hands on deck kind of situation. I remember I peeked my eyes open and I was like, oh my God, let me just close my eyes, because I know me and I will have a whole anxiety second. I get overwhelmed with seeing all these people. So I just had my eyes closed, you guys. And that's when we did like 2 more pushes, and he had the suction to her head. It was like 1, 2, 3. He suctioned her out and she came right out, you guys. I thought that my reaction when my baby came out was gonna be like tears and just like all of this like hysterical and just like, oh my goodness. And I don't know why in my mind that's how I saw me. I saw me like being extremely emotional, me and my husband. And when she came out, me and my husband was just like, I feel like we both just froze for a minute, like just looking at her. And I think for me, I know I was in so much shock, but I was also examining my baby, y'all, because if you guys do not know, y'all, my 3rd trimester, I was dealing with like a whole bunch of stuff with the doctor saying my baby was too small, her head was too small. They were saying there was something going on, but they couldn't quite tell me what it was. Like we took so much tests and they still didn't know what was going on with her. So I was so freaking nervous. I really, really just wanted her to come out healthy and normal or whatever. So I was so concerned with how she was gonna come out, y'all. I thought she was gonna come out, her head was gonna be about this small, she's gonna have this stuff going on. So when I saw her, I was just like really just more so like examining her, like, oh my goodness, like I was like in shock, but I was also just examining her like, oh my God, okay, this is my baby, her hair looks normal, her body looks good, like everything looks good. And I was just like, oh my God, this is my baby. So like, oh, it was just so freaking good, y'all. I must say, y'all, my labor and delivery overall was just such an amazing experience. Like everything just went so freaking smoothly, y'all. Like better than I can have imagined, you guys. You know, like before you have birth, you have to write down like all your birth wishes and how you want it to go and what you don't want and all these things, y'all. When that time comes, it's gonna go exactly how it's supposed to go. She came out beautiful and healthy, you guys. She had passed all of her tests. I was just so freaking happy. My mom and my husband, they both did such an amazing job. Honestly, could I have chosen 2 better people to be in the hospital room with me? Like they were perfect. The only thing they didn't do good was record for me. And it is what it is. They was more so concerned about me than trying to record, which I appreciate as well. All of my nurses were amazing and very like attentive. They were listening to me. They were just extremely kind, and I'm mad I didn't make them like a little like a nurse basket, but all of my nurses was amazing. The doctor was amazing. He was like really, really quick with just making decisions, and I just really, really liked him as well. And I had a black doctor, y'all. My main doctor was a black female doctor. She was kind of young too, but over her, I think that was like her senior doctor. I don't know what they called them, but it was a white male, and he did amazing, you guys. He really did amazing. He literally only came in like right before it was time to push to like introduce himself. He actually made like, you know, the executive decision to do the suction, and that's what really got her out of there quick. You guys, I'm telling you, I think in total my husband said I probably did like about 10 pushes and she came out. And yes, you guys, everything just literally happened so fast. My labor and delivery, from the time I went into the hospital like the second time to the time my baby was born, was literally 4 hours. I think I was in hospital for 48 hours. I did have a tear, y'all. I had a second-degree tear, and while I was in the hospital, I needed assistance, like getting up and walking around, using the bathroom. I'll say up until like right before we left, it was when I was actually able to get up out of the bed and move around a little bit myself. But it was so freaking painful, because I think that's when my numbing started to wear off and I started to feel the pain more. But when I got home, like my first week out of hospital, you guys have not seen that video, go watch it as well. I was in so much pain. Yeah, that week, I was just in so much pain. But yes, you guys, that was my labor and delivery story time. I'm just so thankful and grateful that my experience was amazing. Y'all know that the Black maternal death rate is high, so I'm just so happy that me and my baby both made it out and we are both healthy and we are beautiful. And I wish that all you new moms out there a very healthy labor and delivery as well, and an easy and not so painful one. You know, I want it to be an amazing experience for you guys as well. With that being said, I'm going to end the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.